Hey there, Knicks fans. This NBA season, every shot you take with Fanatics Sportsbook puts points on the board. Earn up to 10% FANCASH on your bets, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still scoring FANCASH. Unlock the world of Fanatics with FANCASH for exclusive rewards like authentic apparel, game tickets, and meeting legend at Fanatics events. Make the switch and turn every bet into a bucket with Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here.
Been that long? You want to try that again outside after school, you punk? After school. After school, we ball. Just me, the after school. After school. After school, we ball. Just me, the after school. After school.
What's good, family? Welcome to another edition of KFS After School on the Knicks Film School YouTube channel. I'm Jeff J. That's Shaw with a W, and you are amazing. We getting ready for the All-Star break. We tap it in one more time before then. I mean, I guess it's officially the All-Star break. What is it, 11 a.m. in LA? They already got started. I seen some Instagram stories on Wednesday. They already lit out there. So happy All-Star weekend to those who celebrate. Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm probably doing slightly better than you because I would expect you to be in LA for All-Star Weekend because you never miss All-Star Weekend ever.
Well, that's
ever,
not
ever,
true.
ever.
That's
ever.
actually not true.
It's not true. It's not true, but I'm running with that because jokes
Okay.
are facts.
Run with it. I will not stop your joy.
Yeah. Listen, I've never been to All-Star. Well,
New York,
but ironically, the last All-Star game that weekend was as cold as it has been in New York for like the last 2 weeks.
It was freezing in New York that year. I almost lost toes, bro.
Yeah, like that was I believe that was 2016.
I want to say it was around 2015.
Oh, 2015, yes.
Yeah. And I know that because I have the promotional thing from 2015 that I gotta hang up here at some point.
Yeah.
The promotional ad.
Yeah. But I'm good, especially obviously after a Knick win, a big Knick win, a humongous Knick win. It was huge. It was humongous. We went out there. We took care of business. All right. And we'll get into which we'll dive into. And I cannot wait to dive into our main topic for the day. But before we do that, let's jump into the week that was.
All right. So the Knicks, let's see, from the past week, what did they go? 2-2?
They went 3. Well, since we last spoke, they were 2-2. And
lost to Detroit and Indy, beat Philly and beat Boston. Yep, 2-2.
But I'm sure the most of the chatter. Well, ironically, the loss by a gazillion points to Detroit on Friday was not the biggest talking point of the last 7 days. Ironically,
I know, man. It's hilarious. What gets the people going, especially online. I think, and I give a shout out to Papa Left, who said for some reason Knicks Twitter is way more lit after a loss than there is after a win. You go on a winning streak, and it's grasping for straws to find something to complain about. But boy, oh boy, when these dudes lose, it is World War III. The chat GPT-ification of this fan base is something that's going to need to have been studied because, the slop is slopping, bro. But yeah, like, so the main topic of conversation right now is Jalen Brunson and whether or not he shoots too much. To oversimplify things, whether or not he shoots too much. So, Shut, I'll let you kick off the discussion with where we gone and where we're at now.
Before we do that, we actually have some breaking news. Shams is reporting that free agent Jeremy Sochan plans to sign with the New York Knicks after he clears waivers.
Have mercy on my soul, bro. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
I knew he was gonna. Damn it.
Sometimes Knicks Twitter is right.
Sometimes Knicks Twitter. You know what?
The Knicks Twitter's a broken
I was
clock.
not familiar with your game. I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. My outrage caused me to get up because I want to cheer myself up. But
why do you what caused you to react in the way that you did?
Nobody want no fucking Jeremy Sochan. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want that shit. So this is what I was talking about for those
Oh, okay.
who don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The All-Star 2015.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this a pool show now. I'm going through my pulls. Y'all can see this is the NBA All-Star. For those of you listening to podcast for, I have the 2015 All-Star advertisement that will be hanging up somewhere in this room. It's actually way smaller than I thought it was gonna be. I might have to blow this up a bit.
Just
Like
frame
the size
it.
of
That's 8.5 by 11, right? Around that
Yeah.
time. Let's frame that. That's good. All right. Listen, we okay.
All right, let's get to it. Jeremy Sochan.
I'm sure there will be an emergency. Actually, I think John's on a plane. We might be.
We might be the emergency. Yo, run it.
All right,
Run it. Hold on.
Hold on a second.
Yo, you got the controls. I don't got the controls.
Yes.
Run
All
it.
right,
Run
you-
it. Run
you-
it.
Yo, all right, you launch it. I'll change the video. You go on.
All right.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. KFS After School has now become the Knicks Film School emergency live stream. Jeremy Sochan, formerly of the San Antonio Spurs, who was recently waived so that he could find a new team, has found that squad. And that squad is your New York Knicks. He's still on a two-way contract, I believe, Sean, so they can convert him into a full contract. So money-wise, Brock Aller, you mad scientist, you've done it again. And now the Knicks have a former lottery pick as of a few years ago on their roster. So, Sean, I'm a professional. Don't ever say I'm not professional. Tell me what you think, bro.
First of all, you're not just a professional, you're an Emmy Award winner. So I knew you were going to take care of this. So it's interesting.
Legacy don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. You just die. You just die. Yeah, legacy. What do everybody want to talk about legacy?
So
You just die. You turn into dust. Who cares?
I'm trying. Yo, you're killing me. Listen, as I said earlier, a lot of Knicks Twitter was clamming for him, but listen, it's not just Knicks Twitter; it's all Twitter. Any young player who walks and chews gum at the same time, people will clamor for that player. People will clamor for that player because he's young, and because he's young, he's going to get better because every single young player automatically gets better. Shout out, I'm gonna see if I can find this tweet. Shout out to somebody. I replied to it yesterday. That said, I don't want to give them credit. That said, everyone who is banging the table for Jeremy Sochan has not seen Jeremy Sochan play. Oh, here it goes. Anson W. Shout out to Anson W. I just followed you back. He said, I'm convinced the Knicks fans that want Jeremy Sochan haven't actually watched him play basketball the last 2 years. And I responded that for some reason, for some people, he's young is all that matters because Jeremy Sochan is 6'8". He shoots 25% from three. He can protect the rim. He averages like 3 rebounds a game. There's a reason we know he can't play point guard because the Spurs tried for a year and it didn't work. Yep. With that said, he's 22 years old. So look, if they're taking a flyer with him on the end of the bench to see what happens, whatever, then fine. You know, I'm a little blurry. Hold on a second.
Just shake the front of the camera.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, move your hand. Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Yeah. So like, I'm like, listen, it's worth a shot. Again, he's a lottery pick from 3 years ago. I think 2023. This stupid camera's not focusing. All right, he's a lottery pick from 2023. My biggest concern has nothing to do with on-court play, what he's going to do, whether he's good or bad. The thing that's my biggest concern will be if and when people just start banging the table for him to play. Why is he not playing? Why is Mike Brown holding him back? You said Mike Brown's going to play all the young kids. How come he's not playing him? Because, listen, I know there's a lot of Knicks fans that watch the Knicks and only the Knicks, and the other teams they watch are just highlights. So they know nothing about Jeremy Sochan besides the fact that he's young and he's 6'8", and he could be a 3-and-D wing. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it doesn't hurt at all for them to. It doesn't hurt that all for them to sign him. But like, I just think there's just gonna be people banging the table from the play and get like 20 minutes a game, even though of all the things I said, that the issue that he has. Because listen, if there's one program that usually doesn't tell a young player to go scratch, it's the San Antonio Spurs.
And that was the reason why, if you were tapped in before the news, that I kind of crumpled in my seat, because I was hoping that the Knicks would pick up somebody like a Boucher, or maybe even take a flyer on a Haywood Highsmith if his ACL isn't Mugu Guy Pan by now. Yeah, man, this just seemed, you know what this is? This is when you tell your partner, I got 4 in a possible, and the possible is a jack in spades. The possible is a jack. And you're like, all right, man, technically it's a possible because it's a face card, but something crazy would have to happen for that book to walk. That's where we're at with Sochan now. Low risk, high reward. If you make the book, if he becomes a productive person, then it's found money, and it's cheap. It's a cheap option, or a fiscally responsible option by the squad. You find another solid player who you don't have to pay buku bucks, and you can stay under that apron. But when you look at what he's done this season, I mean, everything's a career low. Almost everything's a career low. His field goal percentage is like a point above, and that's probably because he hasn't played that much. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not hyped, but we'll see.
That's the way to do it. Like, I'm not hyped. It's low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out, cool. It didn't work out. If it works out, great. It worked out. I just don't want. There's just gonna be people complaining and yelling and screaming about how come we're not playing him. And it's like, yo, and I'll ask them, why is he good? And they're gonna tell me, well, he's 6'8" and he was drafted, he's 22. I'm like, yo, but why is he good? And by the way, if you play spades and you think you count a jack of spades as a book, never sit down at a spades table with me ever in your life.
Just go to Uno. Just go to Uno. Run solo for a second shot. I'll be right back.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. So, oops, wait a minute. Let me do this. Let me put, where am I? Where am I? There I go. Yeah. So again, it's a low risk, high reward move, and we'll just see what happens. The question is, who's like, for the people that are going to start banging the table for that he needs to play more, whose minutes is he going to take? You know what I'm saying? Whose minutes is he going to take? Because obviously, listen, you can say, listen, all right, right now we have the starters. Mitch is locked in his role. GTA is basically taken Deuce's minutes. That's 7. Shaman ain't going nowhere. That's 8. So are we taking away minutes from Mo Diawara to play Jeremy Sochan? I don't think you can. Are we taking away minutes from? I mean, he's not going to take Huck Porty's minutes because Huck Porty's a true center, and Jeremy Sochan is not a good rim protector. He's not a backup ball handler. Maybe, listen, I think you'll probably see him get like spot minutes off the bench here and there. But if you think you're going to get 25 minutes a game of Jeremy Sochan, I am absolutely, I have a bridge in Brooklyn that I love to sell you.
Yeah, you're on every drug if you believe that. Let's just call it what it is. This is, you know what this move signals to me, Sean? Mm-hmm. Either the front office doesn't believe in anybody else on the current buyout market, and they figure they might as well take a risk, and or they feel like they have enough of a veteran presence in that locker room to be able to carry them through the postseason. Remember the PJ Tucker acquisition last year?
Yes.
That was more so for locker room stabilization, experience, all of that. They wasn't really looking for that this year. Here's a third thing, and I'm not a capologist or a roster guy, but I'm just thinking. He could still be considered a two-way player, I believe. So maybe there's a world where he goes on a two-way deal and then they're still able to pick somebody up. I don't know. Like I would love for somebody to be able to chime in and let us know that. But that's the third option that I'm assuming. Maybe they aren't done.
The other thing that also, like, for example, a lot of people want Chris Boucher, a lot of people want a Slow-Mo. I don't think Slow-Mo has Slow-Mo even been bought out yet? I don't remember. But like the top guys in the buyout market, maybe these guys already had deals with other teams. Like, right. I'm gonna get a buyout and I'm gonna sign with you because a lot of these. Listen, first of all, the buyout market is always been to me slightly overrated, simply because I think we were discussing this. I was discussing this with what's his name? John yesterday, that the only guy that's got signed from the buyout market and won a title was what's this guy's name? No, made the finals, I believe, is Kevin Love.
Right.
So it's not like it's like every year we go crazy over the buyout market, and then every year it's like, oh my God, like we sign a guy and then they don't play and we forget about it, and next year we do the same thing. So again, listen, welcome to New York, Jeremy Sochan. Once you clear waivers and you sign, I'm not looking at him as the missing piece per se. If he is, listen, great. If he comes in and he does, if he can give us what Precious gave us,
right,
we've won. That's where we are. Is that
low risk, high reward, man?
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling this. Low risk, high reward.
Yeah. Is that putting the bar in hell? Maybe it is. But I don't know. Like, I'm just not expecting. I'm just not expecting. My expectations are low. So if he outperforms expect, what I say all the time, Jeff, happiness equals equality. Happiness equals reality minus expectations. So
exactly.
There you go. Anything else on this?
No, to me it's a cool move. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting anything. Like right now, the roster looks more deep than it ever has. So good luck trying to get minutes. But I would love to know if they could flip him to a two-way and then they're also able to sign somebody else off waivers. I feel like that can't happen, but I don't know the whole contract, the nature of those contracts like that. So either way, okay. Welcome to the squad. Bring the vibes. Let's see what happens.
All right. And that concludes our Knicks Film School emergency live stream. I'm sure one of John, Jeremy, Andrew will have reaction later, but live TV ain't nothing like it. And back to your regular scheduled programming. All right. We have a jam-packed show and we have 35 minutes to get through it all. So we're gonna spend 5 minutes on this on this thing right here on the Indiana and Philly games. Go ahead, Jeff.
So real quick, Shams just broke this. Sochan will sign a rest of the season deal. And then Shams PR. He averaged 10.4 points, 5.6 boards, 3 minutes across 212 games. Two-time Rising Stars participant as a rookie and a sophomore. So yeah, I mean, to close the book. You can't get enough wings. It's like me and Super Bowl Sunday. You can't get enough.
That's true.
You can't get enough wings. A lot of size. Who knows? Because I know he was lauded as a defender. Like the people said, like he has something on the defensive end. If you got to throw extra bodies at somebody, why not?
No, you're exactly right. Let me ask. Listen, if he comes in shoot and somehow he hangs out with our new shooting coach and he shoots league average from 3, that's a win. Because to your point, the defense is there. Just can he shoot not even league average? If you shoot like 34%, you just can't shoot 25, right? Because as I was saying in a space yesterday, shout out to Billy, shout out to Tony, shout out to Deej, Jay, Nicky, State, all of them. Bonk, I was in the space yesterday. You can't have players like Tony Allen anymore that are just one-way players on defense because people will scheme. You can't even have one-way players that expect to make a run because teams will scheme you off the floor. Period.
Exactly.
Period. So, like, if you don't play, it's because, yo, dog, they're like, if you think teams ignore Josh Hart, they're going to look at Jeremy Sochan and laugh and turn their back to him. Almost, I like what Boston would do when they saw like Precious. So, there you go. All right.
All right. Let's get to the program.
Question for you.
Yes.
Does Jalen Brunson read his tweets?
You know them dudes is hyper online. Maybe he doesn't. Josh Hart definitely does. Maybe he doesn't read them, but I'm sure people tell him about it. I put money that Josh Hart be showing him some shit that y'all be saying about them. Or Jordan Clarkson. I tell you that much. Somebody in that locker room, Mitch be online. I think Deuce low-key be online, but he just want to post about Jesus and his teammates. But I know he be online. Dude, I feel like he is aware of what's going on social. He is hyper aware.
I think they all are. When they say they don't read their tweets or they don't read things, they're not just the Knicks, athletes. They're lying. They honestly, if you know what it is, if they're not on social media reading it, their mans or their family members are like, yo, you see what they said about you? Da, da, da.
Exactly.
The reason I say that is because I asked Jeff that is because obviously against Indiana, there's a lot of chat after the Indiana game about Jalen being selfish, Jalen being a bull hog, this, then the third. John was very fiery in his defense of him in the post game. He was very fiery in his defense in his newsletter. We looked at all the possessions, and he was like, he didn't have a problem with the shots that were taken during last night's watch along because we had nothing to do in the fourth quarter because the game was such a laugher. John and I discussed a little bit. And what I said to him and what I said to Jeff in our text thread was that it was less about him taking the shots, but you can't have 6 possessions where you're the only one that touches the ball in the half court. Like, that's not good offense. Is he your best player? Yes. Should the ball be in his hands? Yes. Should he take the shots? Yes. But make the defense work a little bit instead of just, all right, I'm going to pound the ball and try and figure something out. Like, I tweeted in real time, use your teammates, captain. And ironically, you know how I know I was right? Jeff, you know how I knew you were right?
How? Because
that dude took 6 shots last night. What did you say? What did you say in our chat? What he said he was doing? He was going.
Kobe against the Suns, the alternate universe, the good version of Kobe versus the Suns, where he was like, "Oh, I shoot too much here," but it was way more in the flow of the offense. Like, real talk. Even if this narrative wasn't the case, he really didn't have to do anything but just keep the party going.
Yes,
and play hard on defense because everyone was cooking. Everyone was cooking, but he was competing on defense. He was facilitating. He was keeping the rock moving. He was making the right decision. Mm-hmm. And when he had the shot in the flow, he took it. But more than anything, he became a functional part of a holistic offense where everybody was getting equal opportunity. And when they were hot, they kept finding the hot hand. Hey, we were hitting Cat on rolls, on the pick and rolls. Mm-hmm. We're giving Cat the ball on the post. Mikal doing his ghost screen cuts and getting wide open. Mikal dunking. Landry Shamet. Bro, they look like the Globetrotters out there. They was playing Globetrotter hoops with the way they were passing the ball and looking so skilled, bro. Like, I thought it was awesome. But Jalen heard you. But you know, but heard you.
Yeah. And look, what my biggest takeaway from these last 2 games is this. This team is getting the East best shot every night for the most part. Detroit wants to kill them. Boston wants to kill them. Indiana wants to kill them. Cleveland wants to kill them. Toronto wants to kill them. Like, everyone wants to kill them or some way, shape, or form. And I even tweeted that I wonder if they know it. I think they know it, and they know how to play to beat these teams. but it takes a level of effort, of energy, and intensity that I don't think they can sustain for. Well, first of all, no team can sustain that level for 82 games. Not even Oklahoma City. They just listen. Yes, Charlotte is better. Charlotte should not walk into their trap and beat them by 20. Right? No team is sustaining that. And with the Knicks, it just looks bad when they're like, eh. And John called it out. The Knicks thought they can go into this game, in that game against Indiana, play at 80% because they knew they had back-to-back tomorrow. And Indiana came in there, Indiana believes they can beat the Knicks no matter who's on the floor. And then once they see the threes going in, it's confidence. And I think the one thing that scares me is that, are you giving these teams the confidence unnecessarily when they walk in your building to think they can win? Because you're going to have to do what you did to Philly last night. And even then, how often can you listen, they were 50 in the fourth quarter on the road on the second night of a back-to-back. You can't channel that all the time. It also helped that Philly could not buy a bucket from three, right? So
couldn't buy a bucket, was not interested in playing no defense.
Yeah. Listen, all they cared about was the chicken and the free chicken. And Mitch said, But
hey, that was the most compelling storyline in the game. At one point, is Mitch gonna miss 2 in a row? And he sent them boys to hell.
Yeah, multiple times. So, all right. So that's that. All right. Let us get to.
Oh, by the way, we were right because Jalen knows when he has to correct certain things, and sometimes he overcorrects. That was an overcorrection in the flow of a generational offensive night. But he knows. So if he knows and we pointed out, why are we wrong? Why are we wilding?
Because people want to hold everyone accountable except their faves.
I mean,
simple as that.
You just explained Twitter.
I just explained the world nowadays, unfortunately.
Right.
People will hold everyone accountable except their fave.
Them's the rules.
Like, I'm sorry. I love Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is not unimpeachable.
Exactly.
Like, Patrick Ewing caught this smoke. Right?
Wait, how long it took him to come back to the org?
Look, man. So, Jeff, you say it all the time, the story about Melo when he get the ball and do his jab step and the whole guard are going, oh.
But meanwhile, it's like, who do you want the pass to, Jorts? Come on, man.
Jared Jeffries, you'll never see heaven. All right.
Oh, Lord.
Let us get to today's main topic of the show. The Leon Rose do-over draft. This is inspired by the trade deadline last week. A lot of people complaining, "Dude, Leon, do something. He didn't do anything. He didn't do enough. He did great, whatever." So we're going to put together, Jeff and I are going to alternate, and we're going to pick the decisions that Leon Rose, if he had a do-over, he would do over. And this includes trades, signings, drafts, hirings. Ones he made, ones he didn't. Basically, every decision Leon Rose has made is on the table. We will flip a coin to see who goes first. I got a dime right here. Jeff called in the air.
Yep. Tails. Heads. That's the crowd. Heads.
It's heads. I get to choose. I will defer, and I'll let you go first.
Oh, here we go. You wave your hands to the front. All right. With the first pick in the Leon Rose do-over draft, Jeff selects the signing of Kemba Walker.
Oh, interesting. What's really interesting is I can't freaking type in this thing. So what made you go with Kemba?
I feel like if my memory serves me correctly, they had drafted quickly that year, right?
They drafted quickly the year before.
So he already had a year under his belt. I feel like if Leon Rose had his druthers, he would say, yo, we probably would have been better off with my guy and yours, AB, running the points to start off and then eventually flipping to quickly, like in terms of development. I just think it was a flyer that he took. It was like moderate risk, low reward. but especially after the almighty 4 seed in the shortened year, that was just like, it just didn't work. Like Kemba's check engine light was on, and he got his first triple double. He had some moments, but it just wasn't sustainable. So okay. I'm sure I'm probably leaving some good ones on the table, but that to me is the one where it just comes to me.
All right. That's a good one. I did not expect you to go take that first. So all right.
Was that going to be your first pick?
No, it was not. It was not going to be my first pick. But it's up there. All right. My first pick. Is not trading Obi Toppin sooner. And the reason why is because is two reasons. And one, basically comes down to this. Actually, you know what? No. Do over. Drafting Obi Toppin. That's what it is. Because not trading Obi Toppin is a result of drafting Obi Toppin. And
I hear that.
I say that because you drafted this guy 8th, as I've said for years. Usually most teams, when you pick someone 3rd and you pick someone 8th in when you pick someone 3rd and 8th in back-to-back drafts, you usually give the keys to them and say, here you go. Do your thing, make all your mistakes, yada, yada, yada. And this team drafted RJ Barrett and then signed 4 power forwards on basically a bunch of mercenaries on 1-year deals. Now, granted, that was before Leon Rose, so I can't blame that. I can't blame him for that. Then also but when he drafted Obi Toppin, I understood why he drafted Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin was the most this talk was he was the most NBA ready player on the roster. What sucks for drafting Obi Toppin is that the players on the board after him the next player behind him is Deni Avdija. Can you imagine if this team has Deni Avdija, right? Listen, Halliburton at 12, Maxey at 21. Obviously they took quickly. Jaden McDaniels 28. It's like they drafted him, and I'm pretty sure they plan to trade Julius Randle at some point. But Julius became who he became, and now you're stuck with this issue. Now, granted, Obi Toppin had issues that with like Obi Toppin could not shoot threes, whatever, but Tibbs made him a corner boy, whatever. And basically drafting Obi Toppin and then Julius Randle becoming Julius Randle, and then combined with Tibbs being Tibbs, led him to have to trade Obi Toppin to the Indiana Pacers, who then put us out the playoffs the next year. So I think if he had to do it over again, he's never drafting Obi Toppin. And you know something? If he had to do it over again, he's taking Tyrese Halliburton and saying, I don't care if you want to go to Sacramento, you deal with it. So, all right, next up.
I like that. Ooh, that was good. I'm looking at the transaction. Okay, I got one. Trading Jalen Duren and Kemba Walker to the Pistons.
That was on my list. That was on my list.
Yeah, I pulled up the list just to like refresh and just to have it, but and this is where I will give Knicks Twitter as a whole credit. There were a lot of folks who criticized that trade. They were like, yo, you got this guy. He looks like a tough center, whatever the case may be. Y'all might regret it. And you might just regret it. Hello.
Yes.
You see Uncle Sean?
What's the name's daughter's in the building? Jeff's daughter. I don't blame. Listen, man, I've been there before. I'm gonna tell you something right now. As they get older, it doesn't get any easier. They keep doing it.
All right. Shout out to Zach.
Yeah, but to your point, Knicks Twitter always bangs the table about certain players, young players. I'm old enough to remember the same people that are saying, I told you about Jalen Duren are the same people that were saying, yo, we should have traded our entire draft to get Jaden Ivey, who Detroit just salary dumped, right? But
it is type broken clock, but
yeah,
still, a lot of people were like, especially remember with like Mitch and all of that, everybody was kind of like,
yes. But and the thing I said at the time was, is he better than Mitchell Robinson? And you know what? He was not better. You could not make the argument that he was better than Mitchell Robinson until this season, because that dude's an all-star. So, but then again, if we have him, we don't have Mitch, alternate universes, whatever. All right.
But I do think if he had it back, he's like, damn. Like, imagine it's a cascading effect, right? Because if you have Duren and Duren becomes Duren, if Duren becomes Duren, the Duren that he is now, do you make that trade for Cat? And instead, do you eventually have the pieces to flip for Giannis this offseason? Like, and mind you, a lot of stuff would have had to break a certain ways, and I understand that. I'm just thinking in terms of development, where the Knicks were. You can ask a lot of what ifs, but you in essence did trade away somebody who became an all-star. So I think you do second guess that.
And also that move helped them create the cap space to sign Brunson, because the Mavs are being a bunch of punks because they were mad that they were now you could say that they should have been like, yo, that, like, because Dallas basically told the Knicks, go create the cap space to do it, and they're like, okay, then we did. If Leon Rose had just made, I don't know if Leon Rose could have waited, but listen, dude, like, you're really gonna make us do this? Okay, whatever. But it is what it is. All right, let's rapid fire through these. I know you gotta run. I'm staying with the draft, and I'm staying with the draft, and I'm also staying with something that involves OKC, and it is not keeping AJ Mitchell, because I did not realize. So basically, I looked at every single transaction they made, and when they got down to like Knicks take AJ Mitchell, I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, that's right. They took AJ Mitchell, but they sent him to Oklahoma City because they were like, we have Tyler Kolek, so we're picking AJ Mitchell. Imagine if this team had AJ Mitchell. Imagine. All right. What's next on your list?
Giving Isaiah Hartenstein one more year on that multi-year deal.
I knew this was coming. All right.
My whole reason.
30 seconds, and I'll give a rebuttal. Then we'll move on.
My whole reasoning being, if you had him last year, for better or for worse, maybe you don't make the Cat trade, or maybe you still do, but now you have iHeart and Cat as your center rotation with a Mitchell Robinson coming back. So that's multiple looks you can give the squad. Like, iHeart then becomes another 20 minute per game, 25 minute per game backup. Maybe that leads to being able to flip iHeart or Mitch for someone else down the line if you had him for one more year. Now, I don't know what the cap implications would have been. Maybe there's a cascading effect, but I bet if you gave Leon Rose the truth serum, as Macri would say, he would have asked, like, damn, I should have gave you 3 years instead of 2 or whatever.
Here's my quick rebuttal. Hindsight is 2020. And everyone's like, they should have gave him 3 years. Well, two things. One, maybe Isaiah Hartenstein didn't want to sign for 3 years because he got his money, and then he was like, I'm gonna play well, and then in 2 years I get back into the market. Number two, it's hindsight, because think about this. What if Leon Rose said, you know what? That Isaiah Hartenstein issue is never happening to me again. Gershon Yabusele, here's a 3-year deal.
To be fair, Madison Square Garcon in the Tibbs offense might have been a little bit different.
I'm just saying, like, we always think about when it works.
That's true.
We don't think about it when it doesn't work. Really quickly, this comment from Ben Kim Garvey about what you said earlier. Jeff, this is why you don't pull hinky bullshit with the draft. Yes, it's a low probability swing. When it hits the chain, it changes the franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Exactly,
all right, bro. Jeff, what you got?
Now, wait.
You're not.
Oh, you were AJ Mitchell?
I'm AJ Mitchell.
Oh, shit.
We're going to probably end this at 5 rounds.
Oh, my. I'm going to say, hold on. What was this? Oh, they did get Hart in that deal. All right. So I rescind that. You know what? I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say giving, trading 5 picks for Mikal.
All right.
Maybe he wishes that he could have kept 1 or 2 more. I don't know if that changes the calculus of what he would have had to send to Brooklyn, but I feel like there are times where he may wish that he had, and I don't want to turn this into the 5-pick brigade shit. I'm just thinking in terms of assets. Maybe he would have hoped to keep 1 more, maybe 2 that he could use down the line. Since people love first-round picks like the Podsy schemes.
Yes. Pick merchants, I believe the name is. Yes. My next pick is related to that. And honestly, this could have went number 2. This could have went number 1 for me. Trading Quentin Grimes. Because if Quentin Grimes works out, if Quentin Grimes works out, Giannis is a Knick.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Because then you have the picks. Now, could it have worked out? Maybe it could have worked out. But listen, there were issues that Quentin Grimes, like, if you look at Quentin Grimes' career from like high school to Kansas to Houston, whatever, there's always like something just seems to go left. But that's the swinging door.
And I think we had a whole conversation about the what if they kept Grimes, like who might stay, who might go. Does he go in the cat deal and someone else goes? So yeah, I definitely get you on that.
All right. Let's do one more round. And then we'll get out of here. So you're up.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, you know what? I'll go for you. Let's see what I got on my list here. The only other one that I think is like, for me personally, is
hold on.
Yes.
I'm back. Okay. Don't steal my pick.
Okay, go ahead.
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
I'll say Madison Square Garden, bro. Just for the way it ended up. Madison Square Garden. I feel like I'm leaving something. I feel like I'm leaving something good on the table, but I don't know. Like, it speaks a lot that I have to really like search to find something that is like regrettable, but I'll say that because just the way it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will say, and for mine, I will say, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, hiring Tom Thibodeau. And I'm going to here's why. Here's why. If he knew he had to fire his best friend after not his best friend, but his longtime client after making the first conference finals in 25 years. And I'm from all reports I've seen, it's just like, yo, Tom is like, yo, F that dude. I wonder if he would have because I'll say this.
Would he have taken the job? Is that where you're going with it?
All right, think about this. He hires him, and it's clear why he hired him made sense. Like, let's get this, because they couldn't tank. Let's get this team back to respectability. Let's raise the floor. Thibodeau, raise your floor. Then, and so we have the we here season. Then there's a thumbs down season, and people are ready to fire the coach. I was like, I would have been fine firing the coach, but you just can't keep changing the coach every 18 months. but he keeps the coach who won't play Emmanuel quickly, who keeps playing Alec Burks, who lost 17 out of 20 games, who didn't want to tank at all that season. Like I wonder if they go to a Portland pivot and just tank the rest of that season after the All-Star break, where this team is. And again, it's not that hiring Thibodeau was a bad hire. It was a good hire. Again, I say it all the time. You cannot tell the story of the Knickerbocker Revolution without Tom Thibodeau, but the way it ended, where the owner basically was like, yo, it's time to get this guy out of here. And then players saying it's time to get this guy out of here. I wonder if knowing what he knows now, if he would have done it differently. I think he still hires Tibbs,
right?
But it's an interesting what if. It's an interesting what if.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna make that move again. Like, you just got, because here's the thing, it wasn't his reason that it wasn't his fault that Tibbs got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Tibbs is still Tibbs, for better or for worse. He went down with his own ship. But I wouldn't want to do that to my mans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's my man. That's the part where I'm like, man. But if he doesn't hire him, is he the president of basketball operations and whatever of the Knicks?
Yeah.
By now, does everything else go right like the way it did?
Mm-hmm.
Do we build this foundation to respectability?
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not going to say that hiring him was a bad decision, because clearly it wasn't. But if you had to do it over again, is he thinking about it? And I think there's a non-zero chance he's like, maybe this could have gone a certain way if I decided to pivot sooner, right?
Exactly.
But whatever. All right. That is all right. So we're gonna wrap it up here. We got some voicemails, but we're running late on time. So we're gonna play your voicemails next week. We can react to those.
Yes, sir.
But now we want to bring in a special guest. So everyone is familiar with the foolishness that happened with Trae Young in Washington, chirping at Knicks fans, yada yada yada. I then received a text from a friend of mine that says, like, yo, that was my friend. And I was like, can we get in touch? So with that, let us bring in Ishan. Ishan, welcome to Knicks Film School.
What's up, Ishan?
Thank you for joining us.
What's up? Jeff, Sean, hey, yo. I want to just say you guys do an awesome job with After School. It's my favorite show on Knicks Film School. And I wish you nothing but the best of success. And I mean, I'm in awe of you guys. Your basketball knowledge, your Knicks knowledge is A1 top tier. Thank you all for doing what you do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So listen, let's just start here. Walk us through what happened. You get to the arena. What happened?
Yeah, man. So, it's like 90% Knicks fans out there in the good Washington, D.C., because, we got love for Washington from New York City, and Washington got love for us. Mm-hmm. People don't boo the Wizards. New York fans, we don't boo the Wizards. We boo specific players, right? And one of those specific players is Trae Young. I mean, I'm going to keep it real. When Jordan was playing for them, he got a breakaway dunk and blew it. And I booed him. I was like, yeah, this is cathartic for me. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with the 90s Knicks teams, right? Mm-hmm. So here we are, and we're all just saying various iterations of Trae Young, you suck. Some were more colorful than others, but nothing, outside or beyond the pale, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. Really within normal limits when it comes to heckling. So first, Trae Young is not saying a word. But then it got weird, Sean. He started making this weird eye contact with me and another person. And he wasn't saying a word, just making this weird eye contact. So, of course, we start going, giving the thumbs down, ha-ha, you suck, and all that good stuff. Next thing you know, here comes the security guard, Miss Cynthia, Black woman. We give her the utmost respect. We're like, we hear you, Miss Cynthia. We got it. We're going to calm it down, no problem.
So she told y'all to chill.
She told us to chill.
Yeah, okay.
Then, after we chill, here comes a guy, security guard, handing out warning cards. And he's like, yo, this is your last and final warning. You're going to get kicked out. And then Trae starts going off. Meanwhile, Sean, I didn't see any of this because we're talking to the security guard. Someone sent me the video, and that's when Trae started going off and talking his talk. And I'm like, oh, man, this guy's soft. This is crazy. He didn't say not one word to us until we were occupied talking to the male security guard, giving us out warning cards. So that was kind of lame as far as I'm concerned, because it wasn't even, everybody was like, they didn't even really say anything. Nothing that would merit a warning card at all. So it's just interesting, like Jordan would never, Kobe would never, Shaq would never, Ewing would never. This is not something that people that have that true grit and are all about their business do. And he's not even playing the game. Why don't you worry about being a good player and a good support to your teammates, letting them know what you're seeing out there on the court, so forth and so on, instead of worrying about what we're saying to you, making weird eye contact and all this other stuff, trying to figure out who you can get kicked out. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. And no, the interesting thing is that this all got set off by the Wizards because they showed the space on the Jumbotron. And because it was 90% Knicks fans in there, then came the FU Trae Young chants as a result. Mm-hmm. So, it was what it was. He knows that ever since he rolled the dice on the New York Knicks logo, that it's on site. And it's going to be like that until he's out the league. So he might as well get used to it because that's how New York Knicks fans roll.
All right, so let me make sure I get this correct. I want to make sure I get this correct, because this is the internet and things get twisted around, right? So You get to the game, you see him. So before y'all started heckling him, did they show him on the Jumbotron before that or after that?
I feel like it was before.
Okay.
Or shortly thereafter. I feel that's a good question, Jeff. I'd have to go to the videotape on that.
All right. Well,
Sean, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So you get there, you see him, and he said he's not making eye contact, probably because he sees this is like, wow, am I back in Atlanta again? He sees all these Knicks fans, so he's like, I'm not gonna make any eye contact. So you guys, you're heckling, but I want to understand. You're not saying anything disrespectful. You're not cursing at him. Not calling him any. It's like you. It sounds like the most vicious thing is you suck.
Right.
Okay. Miss Cynthia comes over, and you're like, all right. She says, chill out, whatever. And you're like, cool. And to your point, you said, sounds like you go to a lot of Wizards games. You know her, so you're like, I respect for you. We're gonna chill, right? So it sounds like after that, Trae went and summoned somebody, whether it was because he saw the video on Twitter or not, he summoned someone to come give you the warning,
right?
And then once you had the warning, then he started running his mouth because he knew that if you responded, you would get kicked out of the arena, possibly.
That is possible because, like I said, I was so engaged with the security guard, I didn't even see Trae Young mouthing off. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that until I saw the video.
Okay.
Right? So as far as I'm concerned, Trae never actually said anything to me directly. Mm-hmm. Right? And like I said, Sean, he was giving us this weird eye contact. He was making eye contact with us and not saying a word, which just made us like heckle him more, right? Because why are you paying attention to us in the first place? Mm-hmm. Talk to your coach, talk to your teammates. But you have your full back to the court looking at us. That's weird. That's weird. You shouldn't be doing that.
All right. So it sounds like you and I are in the same age range because you said you grew up around the 90s. You grew up rooting for the 90s Knicks, right?
Absolutely.
Where do you rank Trae Young in terms of like Knick villains all time? Is he number one? Is he top three? Is he top five? No. Is he top 10?
No. The number one villain, as far as I'm concerned, is Michael Jordan. Because we had a team that was capable of winning multiple championships if he wasn't there. Now, in all respect to the GOAT, as far as I'm concerned, right? I don't even get into other conversations about that because I saw it live. So I'm just going to say it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. And then, for me, that's where like the villain stuff really stops for me. Because to be a true villain, you have to actually beat us consistently. Like this Reggie Miller stuff is a hoax, right? Because we beat Reggie Miller regularly. He just has basically a viral moment that won't go away, right? It's misconstrued as if like he owned us. He did not. He has a losing record against us, period. So there's that. And Trae Young right now is just the latest iteration of Reggie Miller. He's taken on this villain role and status. And he has had some success against us, but it's not really long-standing success. And he's not really that great of a player. Honestly, I mean, if you want to say like Halliburton and him are like in the same vein, I feel, but I just feel like we're going to get our lick back against Indiana. I can feel it.
Yeah.
You know, at some point in time, we're gonna get, just like we did with the Celtics. We're gonna get them back at some point.
Yeah, I'll say this. I agree with you that Reggie, like, they make it seem like Reggie would just come in and just bust our ass every time. I tell people all the time, I've seen the Knicks make the finals twice in my life, and both times we beat the Indiana Pacers, right? But
That's right.
Reggie has multiple playoff series that he can point to, right? So like the Reggie can say, I made the finals once and I did beat in the Knicks, right? So it's like, all right, and listen, Reggie leans into this way more than he should. Like, we are keeping him, it keeps him relevant because any New York villain, the rest of the country just gloms on because, you know, everyone hates New York, whatever.
Agreed.
But it's funny you bring up Hallie. I have way more respect for Hallie as a villain than Trae because Hallie did it multiple times. Hallie did it in round 2. Hallie did it in round 3. Like, as much as we hate game 1, that happened under his watch. He hit the game-tying shot, right? And it irks me that people are still saying F Trae Young, and Halliburton is the dude that he should get way more. And I know Knicks fans hate Halliburton, but like, I'm a Knicks season ticket holder. I've been in the Madison Square Garden on a Friday night where we're playing another team and winning, and an F Trae Young chant breaks out. And I'm like, yo, this dude ain't even here. Like, why don't we, like, why doesn't Halliburton get that? Like, if anyone's worthy of that smoke, it's him. But for some reason, we will just not let this Trae Young thing go. Now, to your point, the dice roll thing, yes, that reignited the flames. I agree with you 100%. And it was disrespectful. But I wish Jeff was here. I wish Jeff was here because Jeff and I have always been on the point that he never should have felt comfortable enough to do that in our building. And we hold the players on the team accountable. Like, y'all should not have let him do that because he wouldn't have done that in Golden State. He would not have done that in Philly. You know, there's a couple cities where he's not doing that in Boston, but he felt like he'd get away with. He felt like he
because we don't have that kind of team, right? Because that's why everybody is gushing over Jose Alvarado right now, and the thing that we lost with Dante, right? We don't have like those enforcers, and you and I, we grew up with Oakley. You know that wasn't happening. Oakley and Mace. Oh no, right? So we do need a little bit of that toughness. And maybe the Trae Young, to your point, that whole thing happens because we just didn't have that kind of team at the time. But you know what? He still did it. People still remember it. And maybe they should let it go. Maybe they shouldn't. I can't really say that one way or another. But I think Trae Young has other issues because I've never seen someone average like 30 points and 12 assists and that make an all-star team. Right? So that means like coaches don't like him. Players don't like him. Like he has an unlikability factor too that we have to also throw into this equation.
No,
and it's not just Knicks fans.
Yeah, it's not just people being haters. Like, I think Trae Young's a very good basketball player, but is he the best player on a championship team? I don't think so. But hey, look, he's leaned into this villain thing. I find it interesting that I always say that it's interesting that he gets more. He gets more accolades for beating New York than he does for beating Philly in the second round. Because I think that was worse because Philly was the 1 seed that year, whereas the Knicks were the 4th seed and they weren't supposed to be good. But I just find
it's Knicks for clicks.
I just wonder how long this Trae Young foolishness is going to last because you can't keep holding on to a first round playoff series, which is now almost 5 years ago.
That's fair. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, I know from like a perspective of wanting someone to do well, right? I don't wish anything ill of his career.
Yes.
And I hope he has a long career and all that good stuff because, you know, he got family. We all got families to feed and stuff like that. But, you know, we'll see what the shelf life on this is when it's all said and done, right? And I personally, you know, hey, I'm like, look, if I see Trae Young at a game and I get a chance to say something to him, I'll say something to him, you know, just because it's fun. It's part of the game. Heckling's part of the game. And you should
respectfully heckling.
respectfully, heckling is part of the game, right? Nobody's talking about his mama or talking about like how he look or anything like that. We're just saying that as a basketball player, you suck and we don't like you. even though the numbers don't show that, but it's still fun to say.
Yes. Listen, I will heckle. I'm not a big heckler. But if I chose to heckle, like the guys, like, listen, I'll heckle Jaylen Brown. I'll heckle. Well, I'll heckle Isaiah Stewart. I don't really care.
Why not?
No, I said I would because I like, you know, there's a song by Notorious B.I.G. People bleed just like us.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I'll heckle Jared Allen. I'll heckle Paulo, whatever. But if you're gonna be the villain, like, don't throw stones and hide hands. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Right. If don't dish it out, if you can't take it, don't be all soft now that people saying stuff to you. You did it, own it, live with it. You know, like I said, Jordan would never, Kobe would never. You know what they would do? They'll go out there and get 50. Or they would focus on their team, right? That's what you do as a player. And Trae Young fancies himself a star and a face of the NBA. Then show it what you're playing, set people up when they get after you. That's what you do. That's what star players do. Absolutely.
Well, Ishan, thank you for making time to join us. I've wanted to hear this story firsthand. I wanted our audience to hear it from you firsthand. So I appreciate you making the time to hang out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sean, and shout out to Bree for connecting us.
Shout out to you, Bree, for connecting us. Listen, it's a small world. It's a very, 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 very small world. Thank you, Ishan.
Thank you so much. All right, have a great day.
All right, that is our show for today. I'd like to thank Ishan. Jeff had to skedaddle a little bit early, but I always shout out to Jeff. If you like what you're listening to and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the Knicks Film School Podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 stars. If you're currently watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you'll get alerts when we go live for shows like this, emergency live streams for any trades, the weekly recap of John and Jeremy, X's and O's with Benji and DJ, after obviously this show, After School with myself and Jeff J, Dream Draft Rules Everything Around Me with Chris Persianen, Cream Cap Rules Everything Around Me with Jeremy. And I think there's something I'm probably forgetting. Oh, and obviously our post-game live streams with Jonathan Macri. Follow us on all socials at Knicks Film School. That is Knicks Film, SKOOL. And if you want even more Knicks content, you can sign up to be a patron through our KFS Patreon. We have tiers starting as low as $7 a month. That's the mellow tier. $11 a month for the Brunson tier, and go $15 a month for the Monroe tier. Also on Patreon, you get all of our episodes ad free. You get bonus episodes. You get DJ's film sessions and Benji's grade books. And you can if you want even more content, you can sign up for our Substack newsletter written by Jonathan Macri, hitting your inbox 5 days a week. So, for Ishan and for Jeff, I am Sean for W. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Knicks Nation, let's ride. If you're on your bike tonight, do wear white.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app.